Shalom, Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sister Akim out there that are pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone, Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. The Lord in this lesson is edifying to the elect. It's just going to be a few words in response to this video that I just finished watching, which was a debate hosted by this Edomite devil Piers Morgan, okay, which I believe he was a Fox, if I'm not mistaken, he was a Fox journalist, reporter, whatever, for a while. And now he's doing this the YouTube thing, and he's supposed to be a big advocate for free speech and whatnot, which obviously we know this guy's he's not free, okay? He's not organic, doing his own thing. Very similar to a guy like Tucker Carlson. You have the whole show of him leaving Fox, and now he's doing his own thing, which we already know he went up to see the apostles and whatnot. But basically what's going on right now is the devil is at work. The devil, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, is hard at work. And that starts with the small hatters, the global elite, which are the you-know-who people that claim to be us, that stole our heritage, okay? The Most High discontinued us from our heritage. In general, you know, the whole 12 tribes, but I'm mainly speaking of so-called Negroes, West Indians and Haitians. They are the true Jews, which the word Jew goes back to Judah, which can apply to the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel. Okay? But what we have going on right now is, as the scriptures tell us in Revelation 12:12, the devil shall, roughly paraphrasing, the devil shall come down with great wrath, knowing that he hath but a short time. So we're getting ready to see, we're getting ready to see more that the global elite, they already have plans in the works. They foresaw this time period that we're in hundreds of years ago, and they've been planning it very subtly, very, very craftily. And they are setting up, they have been setting up, and they're continuing to set up various puppets to play certain roles, play certain agendas on the world stage. Okay, like they have the old quote that is famously attributed to William Shakespeare: all the world is a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their entrances and exits, and in one lifetime a man plays many roles, roughly paraphrasing. So those that are pulling the strings across the globe, they have groomed certain individuals to play certain roles to benefit their own agenda, which we know this is the Lord's movie. Ultimately, we're players and characters in the Lord's movie, and Lord willing, we are some of the good guys, which we know the nation of Israel is the good guy. But you have members of the nation of Israel that have sided with the devil, which would be the undesirables of our people, but you have a remnant, 7,000, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, which are your elect, that 7,000 being a symbolic number, which, Lord willing, we're a part of that number. Okay, but the chief bad guy is Esau, Edom, the devil, starting with the small hatters, but they want to control the narrative. They want to be called the good guy. As any movie, the bad guy always tries to hide his identity. He doesn't want to be revealed as the bad guy. A lot of time he isn't revealed as the bad guy until the end of the movie. So one way he does this is by setting up other people to play the bad guy, to distract you from him being the bad guy. He sets up people, it pushes them onto the world stage to play the role of the bad guy. So you look, like Tony Montana said, you need people like me to point your finger at it and say, look at the bad guy. That's what Amalek, chiefly, those small hatters, and Esau, Edom does. And guys like Tucker Carlson, guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Elon Musk, guys like this individual right here on the second to the left by the name of Myron Gaines, which is not even his real name. He already admitted that's not even his real name. That's his stage name, right? Who is one of the co-hosts of the popular YouTube podcast Fresh and Fit, which had a mediocre rise going back to 2020, which during 2020, what happened? You had the whole world shut down, and you had many people at home with time on their hands to actually do research, actually look into things. And Esau, knowing that, he pushed out a lot of people to basically fill that void so that the masses don't go to the proper channels to receive proper information. Those by the masses, I'm talking about the masses of our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, so a lot of people like him, a lot of people like Kevin Samuels, which Esau also knows that what they call legacy media is finished. Mainstream media is done. And nobody really goes to mainstream media to get their news and information anymore. They go to podcasts, they go to YouTube, they go to different people that don't have or never have worked for legacy media, the big news media corporations, right? But you had this guy in particular, Myron, which he's a self-admitted that I believe I can't remember if he admitted himself, but somehow it came out that he, prior to YouTube, was an officer for the Department of Homeland Security. And he said himself that he had to get clearance from the Department of Homeland Security in order to start this podcast. Okay? Which that's a confirmation that a lot of these people that work for the government, and then they turn around and try to do something else, call themselves starting an organization or starting some type of movement, call themselves detaching from the government and starting some sort of grassroots organization. They cannot do that without clearance from the government, which makes you think of individuals like Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, who self-admitted was a NYPD detective for a number of years. And you can look it up that he only left the force supposedly in 2016 or 2017, which the IUIC was established in 2003, right? But me personally, and a close brother of mine, Brother Kananat, we've been following this podcast, Fresh and Fit, since this beginning. Because they're based in Miami anyway. A lot of these females that came up on the podcast, we know. All right, but different brothers actually know. But we've been said, going back to 2020, we said a long time ago that this guy was an agent. This guy was set up. That's between our own personal conversations, and he is set up to help bring the demonization upon this truth. Okay, and it began as us saying that guys like him, guys like Andrew Tate, basically also like Alex Jones, they reveal certain truths, and Esau is watching. He has all especially with his AI technology, he's seeing the demographics of people that tune in to this type of content, and they're taking names, and they're organizing different names and different people into certain categories, which certain brothers already know where I'm going with what precept I'm going to get with that, Lord willing. We're going to go into that, right? The false accuser, or the accuser of our brethren. And also, of course, one aspect, because a lot of these people that Esau set up, they have 2-3-fold agendas that they push. Okay, like a Joe Rogan. They push multiple agendas at one time. So part of the Fresh and Fit is to help push the divide between man and woman, specifically so-called black men and black women, which this is all done by the Lord anyway, but it manifests on the earth through people actually plotting it out and doing it. But help to further the divide between man and woman. That's why you see the red and the blue, Fresh and Fit, right? That red and blue is the same like the political red and blue. That's all a part of the Most High bringing sending a perverse spirit in the land of Egypt and setting the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So there's division going on on every level, between man and woman, between a so-called black man, so-called black woman, between so-called black, so-called white, division between people that eat meat, people that don't eat meat, division between people, Christians and Muslims. It's division on every level. And that's what Esau needs in order to bring about this New World Order agenda. So that's one layer of division that Esau is using this platform, so-called Fresh and Fit, for. Also, the other agenda is to push demonization for men that have this sort of ideology, this type of mindset, this type of thinking. Okay? Okay, Salakia. Basically, what they want to do is blur the lines between sound reasoning and just being a man, just being a free-thinking man, heterosexual man, and being a what they would call a radical extremist. They want to take the views that were once considered normal thought by average men, and they want to demonize that. So they're blurring the lines between, they're using guys like Myron. Like in this debate, they're going into the whole Kanye thing, which Kanye is clear control opposition, and he has also voiced the truth. He acknowledged that so-called Negroes are the chosen people, are the true Jews, which they're gonna bring that back. But Kanye is clear control opposition. He sold out a long time ago, but they bring out certain truths, but then they make the person that bring them out sound crazy. That's why they got Kanye doing all this crazy shit, going on the internet, just saying wild shit. But then they sprinkle some truth in there, so people that share these same opinions, they can lump them all together. That's exactly what's going on. They're lumping everybody into categories. So if you agree with Kanye in one area, they want to call you a Nazi. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, this guy Elon is doing the whole salute, and nobody bats an eye, right? So they have this guy Myron, they got this other Jake. Notice they have 3 Jakes. Which, sorry, Myron is not a Jake. He's a heathen. That's clear. He's a clear heathen. He has a huge disdain for so-called African Americans. That's clear. He does not even consider himself black. He considers himself, he says that he's Sudanese. I believe he's a Ishmaelite. But he's not a Jake. That's for damn sure. The other co-host, Fresh, is obviously Jake, Benjamin. But you have him on the pod, on this panel. You have Zuby, which is a rapper / podcaster himself, where he has a lot of good views. He didn't really say anything crazy on his podcast. Myron himself didn't even really say anything wrong, and that's what they are doing. They want to demonize people who are not really saying anything crazy. They want to make it illegal just to have a voice, just to have a differing opinion. So they're setting up these crazy people to say stuff that actually is on point, that actually makes sense. So that if you say anything that makes sense, you get lumped into the category. And it's working, right? Even though you go through the comments and most people agree with Myron and Zuby and even Kanye, still they're actively, that's why it's showing why they have to do what they have to do, because we understand that it all is going to come back to us by us, the Hebrew Israelites. And that doesn't matter if you're part of GMS, if you're part of IUIC, ISUPK, it don't matter. They all gonna lump us into one category. So if you're going to be put in the category of the worst people ever, you might as well go all out. You might as well go a part of the 100% truth. You got a lot of these individuals in IUIC thinking that they can be PC Israelites and sit down with the devil and say, well, with GMS, they're the worst. These guys are the worst. They are the real hate. No, Esau doesn't give a damn. Okay, they're demonizing regular men for being heterosexual, free-thinking men, whether they're white, black. So if you calling yourself a Jew, you through, okay? And then you have this coon on the far right, and by the name of Choke, no joke, he's a complete joke, a complete clown, a complete coon. But they had to have him because you need somebody to play that role. Right? It's a reason why, our people delivered up Yahushua to the authorities, to the Roman Edomite authorities, and nothing new under the sun. You're always gonna have the house nigga. You're always gonna have that one coon that's going to try to overthrow or stop the rebellion. That's going to try to, run and tell master. And the Most High is going to deal with niggas like that. You believe it. Okay? But yeah, this dude Myron Gaines, he's definitely an agent. Which there's also, you can look this up. There's investigations being done by the Department of Homeland Security to categorize so-called red pill podcasters. Yeah, my guy Coach Greg Adams brought it out. Yeah, the other dude MTR, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, spoke on it, because they actually made a list of different red pill content creators, and they gave them a rating of how extreme their content was. And they put MTR on the top of the list, and he's one of the most balanced, if you will, the least extreme of all the so-called red pill content creators. You got other content creators that joke about him and say, oh, he's like a fraud, basically. He's really not red pill. So this show goes to show you, Esau don't give a damn. They have, as like the brother Samar always bring up and has been bringing out for years and years, King Alfred plan, Rex 84, Operation Garden Plot. Okay, you go into the plans of Rex 84. I believe there's one of these different government operations where because the government every so often they have to release certain files on things, and you could look a lot of these agendas up. They actually publish them, which that's a part of Esau's revelation of the method. But they tell you who they want to demonize: so-called Black Hebrew Israelites, Christians, of course Muslims. And of course, this guy Myron, they have the Islam element. Andrew Tate, they have the Islam element. So they pushing that, right? So Esau is gonna come down with great wrath on everybody. So it's no point in trying to play with this, like trying to toe the line with this man. Fuck this devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Okay. See, but you just read the comments. Everybody is getting on this dude Pierce, because it's being shown, and his rabbi, they got a rabbi, the devil, on here. Everybody's getting on Pierce and the rabbi and supporting Myron and Zuby and niggas and people calling out this coon, which that's a beautiful thing to see. Showing you these devils are losing the narrative, so they just gonna have to come down with the sword very soon. But what they want to do is demonize men like Myron, which I believe he's control opposition. Men like Zuby, men like Andrew Tate, another control opposition, right? Self-admitted his dad is CIA. He self-admitted he was control opposition. He had a butterfly tattoo on his chest before he got it covered up with the snake. Which the symbol of the butterfly is MK Ultra, right? The Monarch program. But another example is The Game. You had the rapper The Game. He had the butterfly tattoo on his face, which he got covered up with the so-called blood star, right? But basically they want to bring people like this into the forefront, demonize them, and make it common talk that we have to do something against men like this. We might have to lock up men like this. And then it's going to go from that to, well, you think these dudes are bad? Wait till you get a load of these guys. Then they're going to bring the Israelites out. Okay, which they already put brothers on Fox News. We remember, I believe, what was that, early 2020. They tested the waters and put Great Millstone on Fox News. And then they kind of pulled it back. But they got all the clips ready. They're gonna say this is where guys like Kanye get this rhetoric, this hateful rhetoric from. This is where it stemmed. They're gonna bring out vocab, the so-called experts on Black Hebrew Israelism, and they're gonna say this is the foundation of hate. They're gonna have the rabbis come out and say, yeah, this, they actually get a lot of their ideology from the funny small mustache guy, and then is gonna go to the point where they're just gonna say we have to kill these guys. That's where it's gonna go, because Esau knows there's no other thing he can do against us but come with a sword. So that's what they did with Yahushua. Right? 2/3 of our people called for his death. And you're gonna have niggas like Choke, no joke. Nigga over 50 years old still calling him some shit like that. Well, you know what I'm saying? He's a damn coon. But yeah, that's how our people are gonna be. They're gonna be calling for our death. That's what Esau needs the demonization to get so strong that it justifies them putting us to death. That's what he wants. So they're setting the stage up very, very nice, very crafty. And I have to admit, it's very crafty. It's very subtle, but it's not gonna work, Esau. Okay? When the enemy shall come in like a flood, then the Spirit of the Lord is gonna lift up a standard against them. So that which thou doest, do it quickly, my brother Esau. Okay? So with that, I'm just gonna get some scriptures. I didn't have many scriptures lined up, but this is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So you have men that are a part of this thing of ours, like Bishop Nathaniel, that have taken a backdoor deal from the serpent, from the devil. And they are playing a role to aid Esau in demonizing this truth. It's called controlled opposition for a reason. So just because you see a guy coming up and saying we are the Israelites, that don't mean Esau didn't set that man up. Esau knows that alone, you knowing you're an Israelite, is not going to get you in the kingdom. It's not going to, Israelites knew they were Israelites when they begged for Yahushua to be put on the cross. Judas knew he was an Israelite. Okay, like all wickedness that you read about in the scriptures that our people committed, they knew there was Israelites. So that means literally nothing to Esau at this point. Okay. And he doesn't mind you going out and teaching you're an Israelite, teaching other people that they're Israelites. Right? As long as he knows that you are compromised, and when the time comes for him to have you do some wild shit, do some crazy shit, or push that charagma on your congregation or whatever he uses you for, he knows you're going to do it. Whether you be blackmailed, whatever he has on you, you can even be, MK Ultra. Okay? But if Satan transforms himself into an angel of light, you shouldn't marvel that his ministers do the same. So just like you have men in this truth that are purporting the truth, preaching the truth, but they work for Esau. They're not pushing the full truth. They're not pushing the name. They're not pushing Revelation 13 and 16. Right? So Esau's, he's cool with that. You're going to also have men that are a part of this world that seem to be pushing, you know, quote unquote good things, right? Like what's going on with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They're uncovering a lot of mismanagement of funds and a lot of corrupt things, and people are cheering it on. And, you know, for the time, you know, in itself, it's a net positive in the earth. You know, a lot of the things that Andrew Tate may say, 99%, you know, majority of what he's saying is on point. Of course, you know, subtracting the Islam and shit. But a lot of the basic carnal things, you know, there are only two genders. You know, the man is over the woman. You know, so-called black woman does need to get told about herself. A lot of these things are true and need to be said, right? But Esau is still going to use that and using those people to push his demonization. These people are still working for the devil and sold out. And that just shows you the subtlety of this man, the craftiness of this man. The scripture tell you the serpent was, which that word serpent going back to the garden, I believe Genesis 3, right? It tells you look that word up as Nachash, which means a warlock. Okay? A source, you know, someone who uses witchcraft. And it says that he was more subtle than any beast of the field, meaning out of all the nations, Esau is the most crafty. Meaning, going back to the boil the frog method, Esau can work his witchcraft. That's the most powerful witchcraft, is when they can perform it right in front of your face and you still can't see it. You still think it's cool. You still think it's, you know, organic. You can't see the psychological operation that's going on. And when Esau has gotten to the point where men like Myron, men like Zuby are totally demonized, and people are like, we got to do something about those kind of men, then he know, okay, now is the time where I can push the Israelites to the forward and call for their executions. Okay, we know the red list, yellow list, blue list. Blue meaning you're good, you just a sheep. Yellow, you can be re-educated, you could probably get locked up and tortured to the point where you get re-educated and get transformed back into blue. Then you have the red list, meaning these men just have to be executed. We cannot tolerate, that's the word, the buzzword, we cannot tolerate these individuals and this sort of rhetoric, this hateful rhetoric. Okay, so going back with the fresh and fit, the red and blue, it's about division. And put it right in your face, right? So, you know, I said a lot on this video, but that's really much all I wanted to say. I found it very interesting that all this is coming out at this time. So with that, I hope it was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rahakadash. Until the next one, Shalom.